Jamar.
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is Marty for here once again. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamar for here once again, and we're here to review the latest episode of this Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it feels like it's been forever, honestly, since I've done a review. Like, first review of the year, and it's on this bullshit, right? But let's go ahead and get right into it. It wasn't, I don't want to say the episode was boring, but I didn't feel like I had to take a lot of notes for what was going on. So, I think I'm going to say I missed the first 5 minutes of the episode, but I came in when Todd and Phaedra were talking about this whole tape situation. Now, this was brought up at right at the beginning of the series, or beginning of the season, I should say. Excuse me. And there was an issue where, I guess about 3 years ago, before Phaedra had, I don't know if it was her first or her second child. I want to say it may have been her first. I don't know. But she was making a baby or pregnant or maternal, whatever you want to call it, exercise video. And Todd was I guess he was the producer of it, and he made the video, and she was supposed to pay him, I guess around roughly $30,000 in total. And I guess she was in the midst of paying that, or it was in some sort of, they had some payment plan set up where she was sending a certain number of checks for a certain amount. And I think she had the baby earlier than she was supposed to, and she ended up not paying him the last, I believe, $8,000 that he was owed for the video. Now, Phaedra's side is that she feels like, she paid him, I guess, enough money, considering the fact that she never released the workout tape. But Todd is like, well, whether it's released or not, it was made. I put the work hours in to make the shit, so it's been made, so my work is done. What you do with it after I make it is your business. But I'm paid just to make it. Whether or not you release it is on your own. And I will with Todd with that. I don't care what you do with it after that. You're paying me for the work that is here in front of us right now. Just because you went into labor and you had your baby earlier doesn't mean that I shouldn't get my money. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, Phaedra. And then she was saying, Todd had clocked her because they had given her the receipts like, oh, she's saying the money is, we're having money, but yet earlier she was like, if I could go to sleep at night, if money was all I need to go to sleep at night, I would be sleeping really, really good. That's not a shortage of that. So it's like, if you have the money, why not just cut the check and be done with it? Like, why are you sitting here lollygagging and trying to make all the excuses in the world as to why you can't pay me this coin? Okay? It was crazy. But next we go on to Portia and her sister. Basically, Portia's doing this, she's having a crisis to where her sister is pregnant, and her sister is basically her personal assistant, the main person who keeps her, I guess, schedule and whatnot together, what she's supposed to do, what she's not supposed to do, all that good stuff. And so since she's becoming pregnant, she's starting to feel like, oh, you're not going to be able to work for me after a while. You're going to have to go on, your maternity leave. And so she's like, well, who are we going to get? And excuse me. She's like, who are we gonna get? And she's freaking out, and her sister's trying to be like, relax, we'll just get somebody, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no. Like, do you have any idea the kind of chemistry you have to have a proper personal assistant and client relationship that works? So I kind of understood where Portia was coming from as far as like, what we're gonna do. So and at the same time, I feel like, yeah, Portia wants to know what they're going to do about the whole situation of her getting a new personal assistant, but I feel like she feels somewhat kind of a way about the fact that her sister is still having this baby before she's getting a chance to have a baby. And I feel like she's kind of resenting that baby even more now, because not only are you coming before I get to have my own baby, but you're going to take my personal assistant slash best friend away from me for an extended period of time? So Portia's not too happy about this whole situation, and I get it, but I'm just like, I mean, just you're gonna have to find somebody else. You really don't have a choice because eventually your sister's gonna have to leave. You know. Um, and then we get to Kenya and her dad, and I don't want to say that I don't even think they look alike. Maybe I had to see what her mom looks like to see who she really looks like. But they were talking about husbands, and he got to go over there to see the Moore Manor and whatnot. And she was saying that she believes that her dysfunction with her family is the reason why her when she chooses the people that she dates, she has problems picking the right people because of her dysfunctional relationship, I guess, with the other men in her family. Which, of course, if you watch the Yanla, there's the whole pathology thing. Like, the relationship that you look for in your parents, if you don't have a good one, you try to find that relationship in other men or other women or whatever, and it's not healthy. So, she's glad that she was able to have this conversation with her father just to kind of mend that relationship. So that was kind of nice to see. Where are we, child? Portia does the Emmy. She's asking the questions on the red carpet. Trying to make that personality for Dish Nation, which is the radio show she does with Ricky Smiley, I believe. So that was nice to see. We said see all the celebrities, all the girls from Orange Is the New Black and whatnot. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cute. Speaking of which, I never got to finish that season 3 of Orange Is the New Black. I think I got to like the first 4, maybe not even 5 episodes in, and I'm just like, I don't care. And I think it's been a year. Has it been a year? No, it has been a year. Because Orange Is the New Black came out in June, and it's January of the next year, and I still haven't seen the damn season 8 months later. So I don't even know if they're even gonna have another season after that bullshit. But anyway, we gonna get too far off topic on that shit. Candy and Cynthia eat dinner with their prospective husbands, and basically they talk about how they feel like Portia is taking sides about the whole Candy and Phaedra situation, and Cynthia says, well, Portia's the kind of girl who takes sides with whoever she's cool with at the moment. Now I'm like, now Cynthia, girl, is this not the pot calling the kettle black? Because Cynthia was the most ping pong inside hopping bitch to ever walk the damn earth. Hold on, y'all. My DVR thing doesn't stop. Let me mute my TV real quick. Hold on. Hold on. I don't think there's anybody more right than Rob. I mean, Sir Boy lives in Malibu, blue eyes, blonde hair. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, oh shit, almost fell. As we were saying, yeah, Cynthia, you would know very much about how it goes to ping pong and shit, because you ping pong with the Nene situation, you ping pong with the Portia and Kenya situation at that fight, the season 6 reunion. So, bitch, really, just shh on this topic, okay? Because you about to sit there and just be a giant contradiction to yourself. But anyway, so, of course Candy is feeling away. She's like, she doesn't really know where her and Portia's relationship lies, because she's always taking, or at least she feels like she's always taking Phaedra's side when she doesn't really ever approach her about, damn loud ass ice maker. But she doesn't really approach her about the situation, so she's kind of like, well, what the fuck? Why does nobody ever want to go to Candy when they have an issue that involves Candy? It's so weird. But then we come to Cynthia's event. Now, this is the part that pissed me off, because, they're having this event. Of course, all the crew is there. And Portia comes in and she tries to, she speaks to everybody. She says, hey, hi, whatever. And Don Juan is talking about, oh, this bitch phony, this bitch this bitch that. Now, mind you, I didn't get to do a review on the last couple of episodes, but I did get to peep the highlights of it. When Phaedra was, they had that whole music video premiere thing. Phaedra went outside with Portia and I think it was Shamia, I think that's her name. And she was pretty much just talking about, well, I mean, she was just saying the situation she was having with Todd and I guess Candy or whatever, and then Don Juan, old messy ass, gonna try to come in, speak his little 2 cents. I'm telling you, Don is the type of gay that I just can't stand. You mind your own business. You go to, oh, I came over here because I heard something about my people, knowing you was spreading shit, putting words in people's mouth when the shit that he probably was trying to make it out to be, it wasn't even a situation, bitch. And I'm just like, bitch, find some business. But anyways, even if Portia was trying to, spew hate or whatever, she tried to pull Candy aside. She says, I want to make sure that we're good. So can we have a one-on-one private conversation? Okay. She says, can we have a one-on-one private conversation? And so she tries to pull Candy to the side, but yet Don Juan and Shamia feel like, well, since the situation involves us, whatever they talk about couldn't be said in front of us. And so they, Portia trying to have a conversation, and then here come them two asses coming over here looking like what the fuck? This does not, can I have a conversation with just Candy? Because my situation is with just Candy, not you, bitch. And he's sitting there feeling like he can sit there and listen. And then what surprised me even more was that Candy was like, well, if we can't have the conversation with them, then we just don't need to have a conversation. Huh? Bitch, what? Why do they need to be here? I don't understand. Why are they integrated into this whole situation? If you wanted to tell them, the importance that they're involved with after our conversation, I mean, that's on you. But you saying that we can't even have our own conversation without them being a part of the shit? I don't understand that. I don't understand why you just couldn't have the conversation at one-on-one with Portia. Y'all smooth out everything that y'all need to smooth out between the two of you, and then whatever you felt you needed to share with Don Juan and What's-Her-Face, you do that on your own time. We not about to sit here and have a private conversation about the two of us and these two bitches just sitting on the sideline just eavesdropping. That's none of their business. I don't understand that. That confused the hell out of me. Well, somebody else, maybe somebody else can approach it from a different perspective and leave that in the comments, because I'm confused. I didn't get that, and then so Portia didn't get that either. So she got up and she dipped the fuck out. And then some random hoe, I don't know who she was, but I think she was part of Candy's group of friends, the Candy Coded crew, as Portia called them. And she was like, well, if you leave, I just heard it was this. And she was pretty much like an instigator. She was trying to, I don't want to call her instigator, but she just kept trying to dig up the issue again when Portia was just trying to be like, look, I'm through, I'm done, I don't want to talk about it. She was like, who the fuck are you? And as she's walking down the street, all that ass jiggling everywhere. I'm like, all right, Portia, I know you mad, but you enjoying this shot, girl. I know what you do. You don't think I don't know what you know what you're doing? Where are we at? Oh, Kenya and her dad in the park. Basically, this is a nice little come to Jesus moment where basically Kenya was saying how she ran away from Houston actually to Detroit because I guess she was living with her dad at the time, and when she was a preteen or early teenage years, she went and she didn't like the school she was in, she didn't like the environment, she didn't like the people, she just didn't like where she was. So she managed to run all the way from Houston to Detroit. Now, mind you, let me tell you this. Me, personally, I've lived in both Detroit and I'm living in Houston now. So, for her to be a teenager or just a young person in general to run away, basically catch a train or a bus from here all the way back up to Detroit, let me tell you, driving on our own speed, 80 miles an hour, in a car took from Detroit when we used to come and visit my family in Texas, take about 18 hours. Okay? That's about 18 hours away from Detroit, from where we are now. So, and then if you imagine, if you ever rode a megabus before, usually any trip that a megabus is, like if you say a regular trip would be about 8 hours driving your own car, a megabus is going to be double that. Okay, so I'm just like, this poor young girl was probably on this bus back to Detroit for like 2 days. I just thought about that. I'm like, that is a long ass way to go to run away as a kid. But anyway, so that was her justification for running away. But she said she didn't realize that running away, crushed her dad. Her dad had this whole dream of having his family together and whatnot. And he's like, you don't have no idea. It made me feel like you running away made me feel like I wasn't good enough and nobody wants to hear that they're not good enough. And I'm like, okay, I can understand that. And a lot of times when we act impulsively or on emotions, we don't always understand the other side or the other person's perspective. We're just always so consumed with what's going on in our own life that we don't really stop to consider how the other person is affected. So I'm glad they were able to come together and have that moment. Now, Kenya wants to have this family reunion idea, right? But her dad was like, no. He wasn't really too thrilled about it, but she's not, be there for me, help me through this and heal with me and all this other stuff. So I think he's going to eventually, I think he does do it, because in the next scene, they're trying to go find her mother. So when we've, heard all kind of things about, her relationship with her mom. So this is going to be interesting. And lastly, we get the situation between Candy and Portia when they go out to lunch, and she basically says that, Portia says to Candy, like, it's not so much me taking sides, but she felt like Phaedra needed her more. And Candy was like, oh, okay, really? And she was trying to explain it like, well, Phaedra's going through a divorce, and when I went through my divorce, I needed my friends and this, that, and the fourth. And I mean, I understand that. I guess, Portia is not trying to be a bad person or not trying to necessarily take sides to put people against each other, but she just knows what Phaedra's going through. So, like, she's trying to give Phaedra what she knew she needed when she went through that situation. So, I mean, I guess that's what she meant, but just the way that she said it came out all types of wrong. All types of wrong. And then Candy was like, you full of shit, Phaedra full of shit. This is the most turned up I've seen Candy in a long time. Candy rarely raises even her voice. Okay? Rarely even raises a damn voice. So this shit, when she was talking about how her and Phaedra was full of shit, it was kind of like, whoa, okay. So, I mean, that was pretty much the episode. I really want to see what Kenya and her mom is going to be up to. So, but yeah, that whole shit with the Candy Coder crew and them trying to budge up in the business, I'm like, what the fuck? Just like Portia said, like, what did I really do to you to where we couldn't even have a one-on-one? I can't even pull you aside to have a one-on-one. And Candy tried to say something about something along the lines of, oh, in this group of girls, when y'all do one-on-ones, one person always want to say something and then be like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that, or I didn't say it like that, and always want to retract it. Well, look, girl, that's the point of the one-on-one, is to say your perspective, say where you were coming from to the person that was involved in the situation. Then once you once you've aired out the situation, then you can kind of get the other person's side of the story, and you can be like, oh, okay, well, now we can work through it from there. That's how one-on-one conversations work, girl. But she was trying to act like she couldn't understand that, and I was confused by that. I didn't understand, but well, maybe it'll come to light later, but right now I'm lost. But that was the episode, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.